This is a picture that I specifically had in mind when I left for work on whatever day I took this. It was really cold. It was 2 degrees outside, and I knew that Theta Pond would have a nice layer of ice on it, and I was pretty sure the fountains would be up and running too. And I figured if I got to campus when I normally do, which is about, I start work at 7:25, so I figured if I got to campus, or I'm sorry, I start work at 7:30, so I figured if I get to campus at 7:25, that'll give me a few minutes to walk down to Theta Pond and take a picture. And I wanted to do it before the sun really came up. And the later we get in the year, the earlier the sun comes up, which makes pictures of Theta Pond like this a little trickier because you have to get, in order to get the motion trails of the water, you need a longer shutter speed. Well, to get this, I stopped down to, I think, f/16, as small as the smallest aperture that my lens would go to. And I kept it at ISO 100. And even then, I think this is only a maybe 1.5 second exposure because the sun was already poking up a little ways on the horizon. It looks light in this picture, but it wasn't. Picture sunrise, and everything is dark and gray. But with a long shutter, it looks brighter. It collects more light. So that's why it looks as bright as it does. But I promise you it wasn't that bright when I actually took this. I was able to get this because of this little tripod I bought a while ago. It's called a Gorilla Pod, and I've had it for maybe a year or two, and it's one of those things that I don't use every day, but when I need a tripod, it sure is nice to have this little Gorilla Pod handy. And I set my camera down by the edge of Theta Pond, dialed in my exposure. I think I took 2 shots and then I left. Maybe I took 1 more before going to work, but it was cold. And even though I was born in Minnesota, I don't like the cold weather, not like this anyway. It was fun to take this picture, and it's probably the last time I'll get the opportunity to take a picture of Theta Pond with ice on it, because it just doesn't get that cold consistently in Oklahoma. But it was fun to go out and try, and if nothing else, I got a picture that I don't normally get. Overall, I like the framing. I like that you can see the motion trails. It would be nice to see a bit wider vista, but yeah, it's all right. And I think it's kind of cool. There's a duck or a goose or something on the left-hand side. It adds a nice little touch to the photo.